Hey guys, welcome to Luxury Royale. Thank you for joining us today. Today we will be speaking about Bernard Arnault. Please watch the entire video to figure out all the details. And guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell notification. Alright then, let's get started. Bernard Jean Étienne Arnault is an entrepreneur, art collector, and investor from France. He is the chairman and chief executive officer of LVMH Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton SE, the world's largest luxury goods company. According to Forbes, with a net worth of $192.6 billion Arnault is the world's second richest person and Europe's richest person. Bernard Jean Étienne Arnault was born on March 5, 1949, in Roubaix, France. Étienne Savinel's daughter, Marie-Josèphe Savinel, had a fascination for Dior. His father, Jean-Léon Arnault, the proprietor of the civil engineering firm Ferret-Savinel, is a graduate of the École Centrale Paris. Arnault graduated from education at Roubaix's Lycée Maxence van der Meersch and Lille's Lycée Faidherbe. He attended France's top engineering school, the École Polytechnique, in 1971, and went to work for his father's company. Ferret-Savinel sold the industrial construction segment 3 years later. After persuading his father to move, the company is keen on real estate. Ferret-Savinel was renamed Fascination. After acquiring a textile company and relocating its headquarters, the corporation reorganized the real estate branch to the George V Group. After being sold to Compagnie Générale des Eaux, or CGE, the real estate assets became Nexity. Arnault joined Ferret-Savinel in 1971 and served as corporation president from 1978 to 1984. In 1984, Arnault, then a beginning real estate mogul, learned that the French government was planning to appoint a successor to the Boussac-Saint-Frère Empire, which controlled Christian Dior. With the assistance of Antoine Bernheim, a senior partner at Lazard Frères, Arnault acquired Financière Agache, a global luxury company. He became the chief executive officer of Financière Agache and subsequently won the Boussac-Saint-Frère bidding battle, essentially obtaining control of Boussac-Saint-Frère for a symbolic 1 franc. Le Bon Marché, the retail company Conforama, the diaper manufacturer Pédus, and Christian Dior were among Boussac's assets. After acquiring Boussac, Arnault laid off 9,000 personnel in 2 years, earning him the moniker The Terminator. He then liquidated almost all of the company's assets, keeping just the Christian Dior name and the department store Le Bon Marché. Arnault was sufficient to convey Financière Agache back to health due to the employment losses and changes. By 1987, the corporation had returned to profitability, earning $112 million on a $1.9 billion revenue stream. Arnault put out $1.5 billion in 1988 to construct a holding firm with Guinness that held 24% of LVMH's stock. In response to claims that the Louis Vuitton Group was buying LVMH stock to form a blocking minority, Arnault invested $600 million to increase his stake in the company to 13.5%, making him the company's largest stakeholder. The idea behind LVMH was that the corporation would be too big for a single hostile raider to attack. Internal takeover efforts were not considered in the assumption. When Arnault's strategic perspective differed from Louis Vuitton's president Henri Racamier, the flaw grew too enormous to overlook. He paid another $500 million in January 1989 to take control of 43.5% of LVMH's shares and 35% of its voting rights, achieving the blocking minority he required to prevent the LVMH group from being dismantled. Racamier was then turned on by him, stripped of his power, and removed from the board of directors. He was overwhelmingly elected chairman of the Executive Management Board on January 13, 1989. Following his appointment as Chief Executive Officer, Arnault guided the firm through an ambitious development plan, developing it into one of the world's largest luxury conglomerates, alongside Swiss luxury conglomerate Richemont and French conglomerate Kering. Annual revenue and profit increased by a factor of 5 in 11 years, while LVMH's market value increased by a factor of 15. Arnault bought Céline in July 1988. In the same year, he sponsored Christian Lacroix, a French fashion designer, to promote the company's high-end apparel line. LVMH purchased Berluti and Kenzo in 1993, the same year Arnault purchased the French economic weekly La Tribune. Despite his €150 million investment, the company never attained the intended success, and he sold it in November 2007 to buy a different French economic weekly, Les Echos, for €240 million. Guerlain, a perfume house, was purchased by LVMH in 1994. Arnault bought Lure in 1996, followed by Marc Jacobs and Sephora in 1997. In 1999, Thomas Pink, Emilio Pucci, Fendi, DKNY and La Samaritaine were added to the group, followed by Fendi, DKNY and La Samaritaine in 2001. Arnault planned to establish a centre in New York in the 1990s to handle LVMH's presence in the United States. Christian de Portzamparc was chosen as the project's supervisor. The LVMH Tower, inaugurated in December 1999, was the outcome. In the same year, Arnault was interested in Gucci, an Italian leather goods company managed by Tom Ford and Domenico De Sole. Before being discovered, he quietly amassed a 5% ownership in the company. Gucci retaliated angrily, calling it a creeping takeover. After being found, Arnault increased his position to 34.4%, claiming he only wanted to be a supporting and unconfident stakeholder. De Sole requested that Arnault refrains from expanding his share in Gucci in exchange for board representation. Arnault, on the other hand, refused to accept these stipulations. De Sole found a loophole that permitted him to issue shares with merely board approval, and for each share LVMH purchased, he generated more for his workers, reducing Arnault's position. The battle continued until September 2001, when it was finally settled. LVMH sold its shares and profited $700 million following the judicial decision. On March 7, 2011, Arnault acquired 50.4% of Bulgari's family-held shares, intending to make a tender offer for the remaining publicly owned shares. The pact was esteemed at $5.2 billion. Arnault founded L Capital Asia in 2011 with a $640 million investment. On March the 7th, 2013, National Business Daily stated that Arnault's private equity business, L Capital Asia, and Chinese garment company Jinhe Company Limited will help QDA, a mid-priced clothing brand, open stores in Beijing. Arnault formed a joint venture alongside Marco de Vincenzo, an Italian fashion house, in February 2014, acquiring a minority of 45% ownership in the company. Arnault completed the formation of Christian Dior's haute couture, leather, men's and women's ready-to-wear and footwear lines in April 2017, bringing the whole Christian Dior brand under LVMH's umbrella. Arnault had led the company to record profits of 42.6 billion euros in 2017, up 13% from the previous year, with solid performance across the board by January 2018. That year, the net profit increased by 29%. In November 2019, Arnault revealed his plan to purchase Tiffany & Co. for $16.2 billion. By June 2020, the deal was scheduled to be completed. In September 2020, LVMH said that the merger would not go through and that the agreement was void due to Tiffany's handling of the firm during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tiffany then launched a lawsuit against LVMH, requesting that the court order the purchase or award damages against the defendant. LVMH intended to prosecute, claiming that the purchase agreement was void due to mismanagement. A trustworthy source told Forbes magazine in mid-September 2020 that Arnault's decision to cancel the Tiffany purchase was solely financial. Despite an economic loss of $32 million during the epidemic, Tiffany was giving millions in dividends to stockholders. After reviewing Tiffany's financial records, Arnault revealed that the company had already paid out $70 million, with another $70 million set to be paid in November 2020. LVMH filed a complaint against Tiffany's court case, blaming Tiffany's administration during the epidemic and claiming that it was burning cash and declaring losses, according to a statement released by LVMH. Tiffany and LVMH approved the initial acquisition plan in late October 2020, but at a slightly lower price of approximately $16 billion, a 2.6% decline from the previous arrangement. LVMH's share price was cut from $135 to $131.50 because of the new agreement. In January 2021, LVMH completed the purchase of Tiffany. COVID-19 slowed down worldwide travel for nearly a year, and continuous travel restrictions affected people's spending habits. When the world reopened, people spent on status symbols to demonstrate their wealth when reconciling with friends, family, and acquaintances in real life. In early 2021, consumption of luxury products in China soared, resulting in record profits, as well as a buying frenzy in LVMH stock. Arnault is notorious for splashing out on big-ticket items, yet he also carefully reinvests his company's profits. The organization is horizontally and vertically consolidated to guarantee adequate quality and delivery globally. When Amazon, AMZN, and Walmart, WMT, became titans and squashed the competition, it enabled it to construct a blueprint that couldn't be quickly overtaken. LVMH has expanded, becoming the biggest company in the Eurozone by market capitalization during Arnault's leadership, with a record of 313 billion euros. That's $382 billion as of May 2021. As a corporate strategy, Arnault has pushed for the decentralization of the group's brands. Due to these steps, LVMH brands like Tiffany are always seen as independent businesses with their histories. On May the 24th, 2021, Arnault briefly overtook Jeff Bezos as the world's richest man, surpassing him with a net worth of $187.3 billion US. But Amazon shares rose a few hours later and Jeff Bezos recaptured the top spot. Well, that's all we have today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.